are tuned to Noise Party. Tonight we present a mixed bag. First of all, live at Stone Soup, we present Jim Rader, Margot Lynch, Jender, Eric DeOssie, Allan Bowhill, Michael D. Sesling, Marc Goldfinger, and Alicia Unack. At the Middle East corner, we present music by Chapel Street, and finally, of course, The Wrong Hero to close out this evening's show. Noise Party is televised at 9 p.m. Wednesdays on Cambridge Community Television Channel 55 and is produced by Francis DiMenno. And now we return to Noise Party and Jim Rader. Red Stone
Marlene
Soup.
was drunk again, or maybe she was loaded on Reds, as she would stammered viscerally through her atrophied frame, a thin, gangling form shaped by the bent logic of unforgotten crimes. This woman used to brag to me that she had been in jail 8 times. But they're all like short bits. She also knew Herbert Hunke, who some of you may have heard of. And I met Hunke once over at her place. And he came in and bought some pills and left. But anyhow, Sandy sat at another table flirting with a benevolent dancer, a pure relic from days that flowed in spite of all humanity. For a few moments we were all back there due to some time warp that must have been masterminded by someone more capable than Rod Taylor. The jukebox blared Love's Theme, a lush soul instrumental by Barry White and his Love Unlimited Orchestra. I watched Sandy's head sway to the purring voices of the oh-so-mellow wah-wah guitar, her Victorian eyelids muttering about the sentiment that raged in the air. Another time I heard the tune in a place on 10th and 1st called Pizza King. Some Puerto Rican kids were sitting at a small table, making out, their youthful facades glistening with euphoria. I watched them closely, buried in my own monomania. And I fell in love when that song was at the top of the charts. Apparently a lot of people fell in love when that song came out. It slid down the hit parade around the time she left me in the middle of April, and everybody left everyone that spring. And then a group called The Main Ingredient came up with a catchy number entitled I Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. And I heard that song for the first time in the Carvel stand on 8th Street. I rambled over to the park, whining out the chorus in a dreary falsetto, while a humid, cloudy sky loomed overhead. It was kind of down. All right, I'll do one. I'll try to find like one more funny. There's another one I wrote that I read at an open mic. I read this at an open mic in Passine, and also the other poem that everybody seemed to like a lot. I read a couple of these poems that I wrote like last winter at the open mic in Passine, and it was really strange because I've been playing my music there for a month or two, and that was going okay, but it was really these poems, like they helped me make a couple of new friends. Like a couple of musicians came up to me and like they said, oh, that was really cool and everything, and you should do that a little more often, you know. And this poem is called Detergent Wisdom. The kitchen toreador, oblique and demurred for being hung up useless, waters the plants, empties the ashtrays, and hides rueful paperbacks in the red satin underbelly of his cummerbund. The coal mine keeps him on for laughs. Ginger LaCasa is in charge, her wheat field swagger in cranapple Norma Ray overalls, her onion lips, her eggplant cheeks. She's a vegetable right now. Who among us could betray her? Kitchen toreador whistles a happy tune. Through the chores, he lights up an L&M cigarette during one of many breaks. Stomach-sized TV set tuned to the Love Connection. Aptly, Ginger LaCasa throws herself at him, down on her knees, clutching his trunk. You fool, don't you realize how much I've always loved you, now that you're in love with someone else? He looks down at her just like Zachary Scott on his 5th martini. The lampshades need adjusting, he says. He studies his Shirley Temple watch, goes back to his chores. Ginger kicks him in the butt as he bends down to sweep some atoms beneath the rug. I love you, Manuel, she says. Now clean up your desk. You're fired. I think that's it, right? Am I out of time?
Yeah!
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Whoa, you're tall. Hi. I'm not going to read tonight, but I'm going to introduce the next feature to give Jack a break from coming up and down these stairs. And it's my pleasure to introduce Margot Lynch. She'll be our next feature. And it's really my pleasure because I think she's one of the most spirited young female poets emerging in Boston. She's also, one thing I love about her is that she's a creativity catalyst for, we've been hanging out and doing self-portraits together. So she also has a book called Tropical Storm, which I will be selling at the door if you'd like. And I'll just let her speak her words now.
Two-handed job, I guess. You can have a seat, please. And so I just put out this little book, and Marie's got some in the corners, as she said. So check it out. Wow, I'm definitely getting a tan tonight. Let's see. Oops. All right. I'll start with a cool one, as in water. Merwoman. Mystery of the sea, not a man-stalker, not just another controlling mind-bender, soothing men's fear of her body possibility, of being stronger, more balanced than him, not a malicious prowler for a ride, digging for her brightest pearls, forcing him into a trance where he will always love, protect. She does not wait, smooth, posing, so perfect. Her animation artists and sailors S-curve everything they want. An affair underwater, no one will know. This is telling us men need female body accessibility. Women are just sitting by the shore for Prince Stud Charming. Rape the asking for a dress. Pick every flower, leaving its roots behind. You have a prostitute in every country. Be my maid underwater, water maid, my sexual servant. Man names everything, even the water, never knowing his boundaries. Merwoman breathes sunlight inside, sculpted gills, dolphins whisper, wisdom games, this is why they smile. Amazons underwater, we do not dress, surviving nature ways, not glamorous, we are not performers, we are swimming through time. Waves crash rhythms, rhythm to make a song, musicians carrying the wave to the shore, exploding to the sky. The humans can't even see the water horizon. The way she moves through the water, sending waves to girls' playful minds, a reminder to escape. Not running away, but diving in, breaking the surface to a clean, healthy place. She explains the wonders of the sea, the cycles, purple haze, moon rhythms, strength, survival, hearing your voice. When you can't sleep, how many times can you burst from the ocean? Talking to neurons, continental drift in her spine, defying gravity, breathable elements always moving. Home is the world, friend is the ocean, maid she is not. M-A-I-D, maid. No, that's a good question. Okay, while we're on the water topic, I gotta find it. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Diamonds, like that. Ah! Oh, it's chaos, complete chaos up here. That's what it's about, making a mess. So this one's called Pisces and Me. I have a rubber little fish here. Can you hear it?
Are you a Pisces?
I'm not a Pisces, but I'm a Scorpio, and Pisces and Scorpios are connected.
Oh yeah.
I'll become a fish for you, swim in our element, lose my skin, wiggle around. I'm wiggling. I'm not going to fall. Near wisdom, my sun clock is swimming with the moon, one wave sharing a soul, spiral shell, the ocean is grooving. If I am dry, I will become an ocean. If I am freezing water, I will become a plumeria tree. If I were a dolphin, I'd do it again. If you were copper, I'd melt to the ground. If I am lost, I will become. If I am centered, I will explode. This is. If I am here, I will think of you as home. If I am sleeping, I will become lucid. If it feels good, know it. Touch souls until liquid. Here's another little one. Sing, girls, sing. I try to keep myself sane. If I think too much, if I sit here, it's too much for me. I'm always wondering. I can't always answer. This world is so big, I'm learning to taste. Life is scary, life is frightening, so I'll kiss myself. I'm a woman dancing till the earth destroys, lava melting around me, my feet are rumbling the trees. Persistence prevails, the intense energy of focusing, the mighty power of direction, remain standing and staring it in the face. When you just escaped the swallowing ground, ignoring what you forgot to do, ready for the next move, you are defensive and smiling, your voice is lower with confidence. You stand like you mean it, your laughter is contagious, you thank me for this life. I'll give all that I can, I will give everything. I'm open to this world, I'm open to this life. I lived in Florida for about 7 months, and I feel right at home right now. This one's about a strip club. There are many of them in Florida, and there was one that was called Diamonds. And a friend of mine was actually a stripper. I was kind of torn in between how I thought about it. I prefer that she wasn't a stripper. So this was primarily for her. Diamonds. 2 women strippers. Leftovers for dessert. Old male breath, saying your name upside down. Constant echoes forced to your soul in the form of the question, who am I doing this for? You can still let your pink and red hard juices flow, honey, but your future deserves perennials, not mages and cages and boxes, not the sun disguised as a glitter groove sex ball. With little time to run, growing up way too fast, chakras spinning, demanding attention. Before you know it, the next question will be, whose body is this? What do you say to your daughter? Do you take her to work? Don't just walk away, find your wings. Don't just walk away, find your hands. Confronting recurring fears, what will your thighs be doing in 60 years? Faces dissolve, but flashbacks of hands slam against each other, weakness, sinking in chairs. For them, getting it up is walking through walls. When in that room, never looking at white the same, confining as what your voice will think. While breathing, look away, look past the horizon. Discover internal revolution auras and hidden mirrors. Hold on to what you need to make you stronger. The past that didn't kill you. The sun is not glitter. The sun is not a diamond. Don't let them chisel your sides. Cut your own shape. During the vision quest, your eyes make rainbows. The sword in your hand listens to the moon. Queen protects the dream with lightning. She raises her sword. Floating from hibernation, you realize the glitter-groove sex ball is an illusion. The sun overpowers. Whenever you feel like you're on the wrong circle, this is the place. Catch your momentum, body traveling through time and rain. Jump off that stage. Jump off twisted idea that woman is on a pedestal. Turn your back from Prince Charming. Don't lie on your back as Sleeping Beauty. Don't wait for someone else to answer your life. Save yourself, let go. Don't go the easy way. Clinging won't get you anywhere. In her 3 a.m. sleep, she says, what do I base my self-worth on? Am I floating in a flat mirror? Will I take my soul to work tonight? Don't just walk away, find your wings. The glitter spheres dance on my walking away from me legs above the smoky stairs. Multi-dimensional edges, I cannot count the sides. My nipples are not erect. They are blades cutting my own legs when I bend over. Drooling monsters sitting below leave my bleeding nipples dry of milk. I swallow diamonds every night. Never dissolving gems which make coal soon. My next paycheck will come. Someday I will learn to use my energy. Away from the fixed world, I dance in color waves. Rain jewel drops clean the cherry face off from the night before. I also wrote this one in Florida, and here and there I get some people that come up to me when I don't ask for it, and grab me when I don't want, and just say some things. So every now and then I get a little mad. Someone's pen.
Assholes.
Assholes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So those people will never hear any of these poems, but it's, some anger at getting off of my back. So, get your hand off my butt. From the corner of the bar, I heard, get out of there, buddy, women belong in the cages. Sliding down the ladder, a man looks for another skirt, grinding his way to rape, masculinity implanted, you are a clone. We have our secret strength, we dance the truth. Weakling, what do you do when she pushes back? Don't expect us to lie prone. We dance with our girlfriends, we are not alone. We don't need a band, we aren't dancing for you, buddy. You don't know. Fuck you. My back is to you, I dance my way around the world, I swim the ocean floor, walk on top of buildings, make rainbows with my feet, loving the good energy in the air, flying over the lava, exploding out of Kilauea. Now you just stand there, arms folded, trying to penetrate your soul into my body. You can never break through me. You live on the surface, you walk onto the dance floor, just standing there, watching the lives move and dance and live. All you see is a body. You are lost on the surface. You take your zombie walk outside. The moon looks away as you fall into your two-dimensional car. Okay, now I have a poem that was inspired from an article I read about this girl that was found in the Peruvian Andes. It was just her body. What else would it be? So she was in there for about 500 years, found by American anthropologists. And so this one is for her. The girl of Mount Ampato. Beauty sacrificed for food, praying was not good enough. They needed blood, sweet, pure, clean, honest blood. I will make the rain come. How could the body of a virgin girl manipulate the earth? I'm here 500 years later. Time will never finish me. Destroying volcano changed this life. The first man touch carries me to the wood table, decorating chants, seeds, flowers. Voices threaten the future, hands tied. Where is mother? What am I worth? Hand holds the knife as a lightning bolt, disconnected from his body, guided by the dry land, striking me, looking into his eyes. I see rain. Rain will never stop this fire. This body is not mine. Take my skin, take my heart, take my blood. Plant my heart in the ground, arteries and roots connecting, pumping. I am here, growing. You will hear me in the taste of your food. Raging, now the lava is your blood too. In a cave for 500 years, meeting souls from the earth, representing who I came from. Time walking through without understanding hair. The body is not mine. I do not need, the mountain does. I wonder, when my body is alone, does it get up and dance, singing, hearing its cave voice, when no spirits are there, when it's dark, when everyone thinks I'm dead? They killed me for food. Through sacrifice and lava, 500 years later, lips preserved at 20,700 feet. Body is not much without me. Cave filled with another molten change, volcano force is inevitable. The last touch, my blood falling into the earth's center, jewels melting around my neck. Boiling soul, spirit bouncing until wings are formed, exploding, breaking the surface, destroying crops. I was here before. I never felt rage and pity until the climbing men came searching for themselves, crossing the spirit world dressed in neon, unaware of soul, selfish hands assuming they can penetrate the cave. The sacrifice taken from the reason, finders keepers. His ego says, this is my body. Scientist Johann Reinhard of the Mountain Institute in West Virginia opened his mouth. The worst part of it was getting it out of the crater. It was really icy and full of gravel. The thing weighed about 85 pounds, was getting really unpleasant. It was getting late. And then I had to go down a 45-degree incline in the dark. In the dark, his soul is buried. They pick up the skin and bones, threw me in a luggage rack, kidnapped me to their analytical one side of the brain, flat world, forced into the freezer. This is not respect. Don't be surprised if Mount Amparo explodes, rumbling a message to where what you now call your treasure location site. They will never find the answer. They will never know, what I've seen. The girl of Mount Amparo is just an empty body without the mountain. Answers belong everywhere else. They aren't looking. Sweaty hands touch their Pandora's box, fingerprints rub off on her hair. The touch vibrates through her entire body, recreating facts. She's lava, destruction, and rebirth. They test her DNA and wonder why. They found their mother's genes. They will stay in their white, silver rooms, standing over me with knives, blades, lights, not even close to the brightness of the sun. Masks, gloves, wrapped in your synthetic ideas, living as a mummy. The girl is their greatest accomplishment, touching their basic answer. They are so far away. Exploding in the sky, alive with cycles of change, planting seeds for my past, living in the soil, playing with my heart, the mountain, the never-ending ocean of soul. As my body is frozen, I will never stop. The center of the earth. Answers release explosions. Anybody got a factor of time? Or how much time I have or anything like that?
Where's the boss?
Oh, about 20 minutes. Anybody? Okay. 8 to 10. Okay. Woo! Woo! I'm sweating. This one. Yeah. Oh boy. Anybody got a kiddie pool? Where the hell's my book? Oh, damn. Oh, I got one. Oh. No hip checking. Oops. Oh, thank you. Powder. Oh, look at my legs. Oh, boy. Wow. All right. Superwoman. 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 Sometimes she stays in with herself, dancing up her walls. She and her cape fly, the reflection of her chainmail shines on her bald head. Yeah, she's bald and beautiful. Do wrinkles scare you? Her wrinkles, her signs of living are stronger. She flies higher. She will erase you. She doesn't destroy anyone to prove womanhood. She speaks when it's time. She tells you otherwise. She won't bother. She loves her life, her feet she loves, her big boots wherever she stands is hers. She can see into your past, present, future. You cannot explain, it might be too late. You might be turned into the past you fear. She controls her emotions. Her power doesn't come out of an uncontrollable hormonal change. Her blood rages, she flies over you and bleeds. She speaks to the moon. Her blood changes a landscape like lava burning to the sea. Let's see, I gotta think. Oh. Yeah. Smart. Okay. I want to read. Yeah, I'll read this one. This one's hot.
You're welcome.
The body breathing. I breathe open my bed, stretch my lips 1,000 miles to yours. Kisses wet thunder skin, open and clean, knowing my hands. Pictures and daydreams and mirrors, water visuals, honey, coconut oil flowing like Pele. I am a goddess too. Waves reach fingers, energy coming into air, intensity getting off, lips tasting, blood knowing, translating for chakras, expanding sky, overwhelming freedom of release, body dance, shake it. Eyes half open, this is the deepest breath. Curling in a flower ball, knowing where my heart is. Sound travels when you let your body breathe. Circulating thoughts fall into another voice. The air kneads past our skin to the rubbing fire bones. Dreaming happens floating as soothing stones. Okay, I'll read 2 more. This one is about my brother. He's a jerk. No, he's not a jerk. He can be a jerk, but I love him. He drives me crazy, but I still love him. And we do have a bond. Brother, remember the earth, remember our souls before there was life. Our beginning is with the ground, the changing land, the lava, the movement. We are inside the earth. The cords of life connects us forever to the earth, ourselves, each other, people who walk the island. Fire spirits, tradition, nothing else more sacred. Holy water, I sweat out my palms, I read the lines, they direct me to you. We're like hands, mirrors of each other, each strong in their own way. We're spreading our power across this world, our energy, almost as bright as the sun. Our healing minds bring people together. We know people's minds can open. We can change every day. When we sleep, the others are hearing. We grow together, the most powerful trees growing from us out into the other world in which we live. Inside us, it's like the universe. always changing. It's a circular vision, a continuous motion, a never-ending soul. We don't know where it ends, but we know. We feel the connection to our beginning and our belly and our mind and our soul. We share. We give our bodies to the earth, our mind to the sky. Our spirit is everywhere. I want to read all of them. No, I can't. All right, Wow, okay. Hey. The light totally changed. It's all like pink. Okay. Was that a sign or a cue? Oh. Maybe? Oh. Oh, okay. All right, two little ones. They're short. I know you said like 8 minutes, but I think the time will be, whatever. Whoa. I'm not a frog. Oh boy. Drive me to the sun. My mind is wet, teaching myself every day. Wisdom is remembering the woman on wheels, skating to find my way, eyes looking to the horizon. The hot orange doesn't last. Gravity loves skin. This challenge matters. I'm flying. Looking at my hands, what can I do about this now? My fingers play, my soul sings, my legs pound the earth like the drumming of a lion. Beating her tail to the ground, she is ready for the next move. There's music in everything, so sweet the calls, mountains rubble, lightning whips night to your dream. You wake up singing, you wrap yourself in drawings, stick figures, kissing, passing tongues, the sweat of the mango, it's a scent of the steaming love between your legs, the blue earth stirs, you roll around the world. The roots are making themselves under your footsteps. The seed is planted and you move on. The lines are stretching, reaching their way across your strongest finger. Your mirror tells you something else. Roll in pleasure for your creative spirits. Watching, not staring as much. She walks into the world aware of who she opens herself to. Aware of who is the sun. All right, and my last one. This one's called Snow Tulips. I wrote this in April when it was snowing. Petals open to the sun, crystals spin, first time color, natural confusion of fact. Buds don't always hide in cold, wind doesn't kill, timing is not off, cold is not my depressant. Roots reach farther down than soil, life within this place of spinning world. Petals can't get centrifugal whiplash, the lunar eclipse, the fire-red tulip, blood comet, it's back again with icy tail. I know I will fall, lose my color, lose my softness, lose my fragrance. I accept time. When my season is dry, white lava comes in geometric shapes. Pieces of cold hands fused together, freezing my roots. Time stops for me. You can see the wind in your evening performances, repetition, many of one, like atoms colliding to make you white, the almost unearthly body. Now I am a snow tulip. People love me for the way I fall, loose and gracefully arching my back to where I came from, where I am going, the place where we all stop and change. Thank you. That was fun. So again, if anybody wants a book, Maria, I guess you have them, and Janique, they're over there. So check them out. And I hope I see you soon, some other day. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Margot, and thank you, Jim Rader, for two wonderful features. We're going to take a 5-minute break now, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Oh, what's the matter, Joanna? So, you want 10 minutes? Jack, Joanna wants 10
Joanna
minutes.
gets 10, the rest of us get 3.
The holy terror becomes the holy blessing. Family values caught in the act of undressing. Addicts getting high in early morning hours, running through dreams and trampling down flowers, dancing
That was Stone Soup Poets live at TT the Bears with Jim Rader, Margot Lynch, Jender, Eric DeOssie, Allan Bowhill, Michael D. Sesling, Marc Goldfinger, and Alicia Unack. Or perhaps it's Unack, actually. And now on Noise Party, we're going to be presenting a shoot live from the corner at the Middle East Cafe of a band called Chapel Street.
all around, the sky up above. Yes, I need a little more. I've been too long and lonely and my heart feels pain. Crying out for some sleep. I believe I'll take it enough. Yes, I need a little more.
I just look at this person. What's the matter with you?
You are tuned to Noise Party. That was music by Chapel Street, recorded live at what is now called The Corner at the Middle East Cafe, which of course is at 472 Massachusetts Avenue in Central Square. Stay tuned because we have a special treat for you here on Noise Party. Why? It's none other than the beloved Wrong Hero. Hi, I'm the Wrong Hero, the most lovable hobo who's ever appeared on American television. And if you're watching Noise Party, then you might remember last week the Wrong Hero appeared in Stone Soup and spent so much time fiddling around with his introductory comments that he didn't really get a chance to read that poem of his called Poetry. Not only did he have to skip all the choruses, but all of the commentary which went along with it also had to fall by the wayside. And so now in the waning minutes of Noise Party, I thought as a special treat I would do the full-length version of a piece I call Poetry. Now, if you were watching this program 2 weeks ago, you might remember a young chap named C.T. Elliott. Actually, it might have been more like, yeah, it was 3 weeks. How's that go? Last week was Stone Soup and part of Liberty. And 2 weeks ago, we had the bulk of Liberty, and immediately following the Wrong Hero during that Liberty show was a young fellow named C.T. Elliott. And I stole this tune from him. I just stole it. Well, not really. I mean, I kind of put my own inimitable spin on it. Anyway, the prefatory comments to this piece have to do with the practice of poetry. Now, if you're like most people, and you know, who isn't, then you're probably just like everybody else. And you know, it's been said that people who tell the truth are never very popular. And I say, let's kill them, all three of them. It's also been said that 100,000 people in the United States read poetry, and I'll bet that 99,997 of them also write poetry. As for the other three, they're probably the same three who are the only three people who tell the truth, who we should kill. Well, I'm going to digress a little bit before I get into this. I went for a job interview at an insurance agency down in Rhode Island this morning. And it wasn't really an interview, it was more like they gave us a aptitude test, which dated from like 1944, except it was revised in 1984 and 1988. Well, you know, I mean, aptitude is aptitude, regardless of whether it's during World War II or whether it's during the Reagan era. Things don't really change very much, but they gave us 12 minutes to do 50 questions, which averaged out to about 20 seconds per question. And they wanted you to underline your answer as well as write the number in. But I figured, well, with 20 seconds to answer the question, wouldn't it be just better to just write the number in and disregard their advice? And the really bizarre thing is, they had a calculator next to it, next to where we were taking the test, and yet on the front page it specifically said that you weren't permitted to use a calculator. Well, of course, you know, I have a mathematical mind. I can do sums in my head. I can do algebra in my head, and multiplication, division, and whatnot. So I didn't really need the calculator. And but what I'm getting at is that, you know, I went to school for all these years, 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, and I learned all these things like algebra and whatnot. And I never thought it might come in handy, but it did. The thing is, though, I'm the kind of guy that likes to do mental calculations while I'm driving, and try to figure out, well, let's see, if I go 80 miles an hour, then how long will it take me to go 60 miles? Well, let's see, 80 miles an hour is 1/3 faster, therefore it'll take me 1/3 less time, therefore I can go 60 miles in 40 minutes if I go 80 miles an hour. Is that true? Gee, I don't know, 80 miles an hour. So let's see, if it took you 80 miles, it took you an hour to go 80 miles, and how long would it take you to go in 40 minutes? That's not quite right. But anyway, those are the type of calculations I like to make. Not that I go 80 miles an hour, mind you. See, because I'm afraid that the little needle that indicates how hot the engine's getting is going to go into the red zone. And then I have to stop and wait for half an hour and put more oil in the thing. And that, of course, would defeat the whole purpose of going 80 miles an hour now, wouldn't it? Let's see. If 80 miles an hour is, I guess it would be 1/4 is not 1/3. So you would actually be able to do it in 45 minutes. That sounds more like it. You see, this is one of these intuitive type things. Anyway, so I took this test, and it got me thinking, well, what do you learn in college anyway? I mean, not an awful lot. I mean, you learn how to drink vodka and cappuccino mixed together without vomiting, and you learn how to eat iced tea straight out of the foil packet, and you learn how to say in 500 words what was never really worth saying to begin with, and you learn how to say, I know exactly what you mean, instead of, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But see, my college education was a little different. I studied, I took my AB as the university I attended, which I am far too modest to mention, but it's in the 02138 area code. My university, they don't give you a BA, they give you an AB. And you don't study English, you study English and American language and literature, which is longer than the curriculum for most of it. No, actually, I shouldn't say that. You know, they had us reading like 5 or 6 really thick, heavyweight books a week, which, of course, you know, there's no time to do that unless you're Jack Kennedy and can speed read. I mean, it's just almost humanly impossible unless you do nothing else. I still remember very clearly the week in 1977 when I had to read 5 full-length books plus Middlemarch by George Eliot. Well, I only got halfway through Middlemarch. But what this incredibly stupendous digression is leading to is that I basically took a bunch of creative writing courses and got like A's in virtually all of them. You know, it was easy. It was an easy A for me because I had all this stuff stockpiled from high school. You know, you just like throw that at them. But there were 2 people who weren't fooled. One of them was Robert Fitzgerald, the translator of the Odyssey and the Iliad, and the other was Elizabeth Bishop, who was, of course, perhaps one of the greatest poets of the 20th century. I mean, there's a pantheon. You should realize this, especially if you go to poetry readings such as I do. Now, one of my personal favorite poets is Edward Dorn. He's one of the Black Mountain poets. Along with Charles Olson, Robert Bly, loosely, and of course their great-granddaddy were people like William Carlos Williams, Ezra Pound to a certain very attenuated degree, and Walt Whitman to an almost equally attenuated degree. So there's a whole line of dissent. Meaning D-E-S-C-E-N-T and not D-I-S-S-E-N-T, although both equally apply. You see, I'm already in my poetic mode here. But she's one of the greats, along with you know, T.S. Eliot, Robert Frost, William Alton, W.J. Auden, what's his name? Wallace Stevens. What's his name? You know, and of course, you know, you get into the modern era and the beat poets. I mean, there's all these schools of poetics, and I guess this was sort of what I was getting at when I composed this. So I'll sing it because it sort of works better if you're singing a portion of it. It has choruses and stuff, so you sort of have to sing it. So I'll sing, you know, portions of it, and then I'll do my little commentary on certain portions of it. In other words, this is postmodernist because, you know, not only do I tell you what I'm going to do, and then I tell you that I've done it, but then I actually do it as well. And that's sort of the definition of postmodernism, which of course is another movement, not strictly poetical, more on the lines of a literary movement. And of course, then there's postmodernism and anti-modernism, which I just newly coined, which basically is postmodernism backwards. Incredibly ornate, and anyway, that's the style in which I express myself, perhaps unfortunately. It's also a style that one of my other teachers, Alex Thoreau, expresses himself in. If you've ever read Darkenville's Cat, you'll know what I mean. And one time he said, "You like to write ornate, don't you?" Well, not quite that colloquially, but that was sort of the gist of his comments. He said, "You know, if you don't make it as a writer, maybe you should be a doctor." So I think what he was doing was ascribing high intelligence to me because I could express myself in complete paragraphs with subordinate clauses. And yet another digression before I begin. I just got a manuscript back from a fellow I went to college with who now runs this magazine called Gnosis. He's going to print a piece of mine in the September issue. And not only do I get $150, but a free subscription for a full year to the magazine, as well as some contributors' copies. But he sort of edited this stuff. And I wouldn't mind if he just left this stuff out. But, you know, he added his own sort of merry japes and quips and jests. And it's going to be my job in the next 3 days to sort of figure out what parts he's particularly committed to without hurting his feelings. Mostly the parts, I think, that are actually really hilariously funny. And add a great deal to my presentation to an extent that I'm almost embarrassed to admit, and how to like negotiate with it to like leave in the stuff he really wants to leave in while getting rid of the stuff that I really don't want him to put in there. But and perhaps maybe squeezing in some of the stuff of mine he actually cut out. See, it's one thing if they actually just cut stuff out, but when they put their own connecting clauses and stuff, you know, and they sort of try to piggyback on your work, then it gets to be a little, I don't know, iffy for me. But I was surprised to notice that he doesn't know the difference. Well, he doesn't know when you should use which as a conjunction and when you should use that as a conjunction. And I thought of a simple rule of thumb for that, which perhaps I'll express to him, which is let's see, how's it go? If you can do without that, if you can do without that, use that. If you can't do without that, use which. Or if you can't do without which, use which. Or if you can't do without that, use which. So in other words, that is to be used when it could easily be left out, and which is only to be used in general when it is a vital part of the linkage of subordinate clauses. Boy, I'm beginning to sound like Robert Graves in his book, The Reader Over Your Shoulder, which I highly recommend. I saw it listed as like the only book a writer ever needs to read in order to write. Well, I got about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to do this, but it might very well take 10 minutes of all the digressions. Poetasters, versiflasters, wet your pens and write like bastards. Versiflasters, poetasters, write your rhymes with turkey basters. Now I sing in this twangy voice because I can't sing on key, and at least this way I'm consistently flat, right? I cry perdition on you crawling worms, who get your inspiration from the Book of Forms. Now you can tell from the way that line scans that I don't get my inspiration from the Verse of Forms. The Book of Forms by Louis Turco. Now I get my inspiration from the Poetry Handbook by Babette Deutsch, which is much easier to use and actually has examples. As for me, a terse rima sonnet, insipid stuff say I, a pox upon it, and verily I'd rather go to hell than be the author of a pointless villanelle. Now, 3 things I learned from Elizabeth Bishop were, number 1, it is possible to write a really good villanelle, but she seems to be the only person in the 20th century who's actually written a good one. Number 2, that Robert Frost was very depressed all the time. And number 3, that Shakespeare and other poets, if they had had access to a rhyming dictionary, would have used it and benefited from it in the bargain, except presumably for Milton, who, as we all know, largely wrote in blank verse. And so anyway, one time I read her this poem, and she said, you know, that's not a really very good poem at all. In fact, I'd hardly characterize it as a poem. And I said to her, well, these are just comments that you made in class about Robert Frost, and I just jotted them down. And boy, was she embarrassed. I shouldn't have done that to her, you know. It's like maybe a couple of years before she died, and she was probably kind of sickly. And I was tormenting this sick old woman who was actually one of the greatest poets who ever lived. Anyway, poetasters, verse flasters, wet your pens and write like bastards. Verse flasters, poetasters, write your rhymes with turkey basters. Pin there it goes, have never been my speed. For Anglo-Saxon prosody, I have no need. Now, Robert Frost said that free verse is like playing tennis without a net. Well, better that than making an enormous net and an enormous racket and having no balls. Octave rima is impossible to rhyme without a metronomic beating out of time. And time enough to stuff a camel through a needle's eye. I'd sooner stick a needle in a camel's thigh. And rhyming dictionary's thicker than a leg of lamb. Well, the one I got isn't quite as thick as a leg of lamb, but it's pretty thick. It's about doorstop thick, not quite leg of lamb thick. Almost big enough to murder somebody and then devour the evidence while the detectives are sitting in their kitchen, as in that famous Alfred Hitchcock episode. For flaccid madrigals, I do not care a damn. And now Poetry Incorporated presents Dictionary. If you've got the rhyme, we've got the time. I cry perdition on you, crawling worms, who get your inspiration from the Book of Forms. I find rhyme royal a royal pain, the labor camp belaboring my brain. I cannot bear, and sooner would I write, a cynic suckled in a creed of spite, in dogged doggerel as I plow through now, and beat my pen to plowshares come with will. I will not write hendecasyllabic swill. That line had 11 beats, by the way. Robert Fitzgerald taught us hendecasyllabics. Of course, you know, Catullus was a big fan of those. That's what my friend who helped edit Gnosis told me. But of course, Fitzgerald translated the Iliad and the Odyssey, and he knew all about this Greek stuff, but my hendecasyllabics, which took hours to write, weren't adjudged by the great man to be very good at all. I will not write hendecasyllabic swill. I cannot understand it anyhow. Poetasters, versiflasters, wedge pens and write like bastards. Versiflasters, poetasters, write your rhymes through turkey basters. I cry perdition on you, crawling worms, who get your inspiration from the Book of Forms. Mind if I share a little light verse with you? I could have been a lawyer, I could have been a monk. Instead I am a poet, and now I'm mostly drunk. Da-da-da-da-da. I stole that from the proletariat. I shouldn't say I stole it, though, because lesser mortals, when they out and out copy something, well, that's called plagiarism. But when I, the wrong hero, the supreme intellectual of my generation, do it, it's called a homage. Come all you fancy rhymesters, mark me what I say. Scribble your gibberish in your filthy room. Fill reams and reams of full cap till the crack of doom. And specialize in forms so difficult to write. They must have been invented by some evil sprite. Poetasters, versiflasters, wet your pens and write like bastards. Versiflasters, poetasters, write your rhymes with turkey basters. Now, in case you don't know, a versiflaster and a poetaster are basically the same thing. A bad poet. Console yourself however so you may. Nobody's going to read your poems anyway. Nobody's going to read them anyway. And so I cry perdition on you, crawling worms, who get your inspiration from the Book of Forms. You get your inspiration from the Book of Forms. Now that tune, of course, as I mentioned earlier, was taken from the song Heavy Metal Days by a young fella named C.T. Elliott. Now, am I old enough to refer to somebody in a pretentious manner as a young fella? Before I conclude, I'll take a short break here. Just so you don't think I'm kidding about this, this is the Book of Forms by Louis Turco. As you can see, it's a fairly new copy, hardly ever cracked it. Here we go. Chai Haided here, Welsh, syllabic, octave stanzas composed of 2 quatrains, each of whose 4 lines consist of 5, 5, 5, and 4 syllables, respectively. Each quatrain may, if desired, be arranged as a single 19-syllable line. The 5-syllable lines in each quatrain rhyme with one another. The 4-syllable lines carry the main rhyme. Strictly speaking, the stanzas need not be octave stanzas. Any number of quatrains may be used in a stanza, and technically, the meter will remain chahilded here, However, within any stanza, the short lines must carry the same rhyme. Can you make head or tails of that? Let's see. Scheme of an octave stanza. XXXXA, 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 XXXB, XXXC, XXXXC, XXXXC, XXXB, etc. Except, you know, and here's the deal. They don't give you an example anywhere, or do they? Or if they do, they refer to it, right? But they don't actually print it out. Which, you know, is kind of a pain in the ass. Shahided Fair, Exclusive Blue in the Orb Weaver by Robert Francis. Cormorants and Colonel Johnson's Ride by Robert Huff. The House in the Tree by Spencer Brown. Poets of Today 3. You know, so, well, where are we going to find these, you know? Why couldn't you just, like, print it out like they do in Babette Deutsch's book? They probably paid a pretty penny to get the rights to print those. See, that's the thing, this guy's cheaping, I mean, you know, they're just cheap. Just plain cheap, that's all. Here's the Rhyming Dictionary by Clement Wood, the complete Rhyming Dictionary. I am delighted with Clement Wood's new Rhyming Dictionary. I have a weakness for dictionaries. And I like this one especially. It is true that it is more complete than others and completely convenient. Geez, you know, this guy could have used a book of synonyms instead of a rhyming dictionary. More complete than others and completely convenient. That is pretty convenient. I'd like to read a little something that a hero of mine named Edward Dorn wrote. I'll never forget, when I was in college, I adapted Edward Dorn's Gunslinger for the stage with his permission, which I got by calling him on the phone and asking him if I could do it. He said, sure. Well, and then we went to see him read at a poetry reading, and he like did jokes, basically. He was a comedian, essentially. And to a certain degree, I looked at him and I said, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to be like a comedian whose work could pass as poetry, or a poet whose work could pass as comedy, or something to that effect. See, it's dangerous to like, you know, influence susceptible young undergraduates with your incredibly unique worldview. Here's what Edward Dorn had to say about modern poetry. It's a piece entitled Whereas. Poetry is now mostly government product. The work of our non-existent critics is unnecessary. The grades assigned to meat will do nicely. Prime, choice, good, commercial, utility, and canners. Well, that's pretty much it for The Wrong Hero. And I suppose if I were very prudent, I would now turn this over to rolling the credits, which of course is a very important part of any television show, even one done on not even a shoestring budget, more like a, like I can't even afford to buy shoestrings, you know? Good. And this goes out to the people who make Cluster. There's a cute little squirrel in every box. See? There he is right there. That squirrel sure tastes good. I'll tell you. Okay, I'm gonna roll the credits, so this is The Wrong Hero, signing off. Tonight's show featured live at Stone Soup, Jim Rader, Margot Lynch, Ren Jender, Eric DeOssie, Allan Bowhill, Michael D. Sesling, Marc Goldfinger, Alicia Unack. At the Middle East Corner, music by Chapel Street, plus, of course, The Wrong Hero. It's produced by Francis DiMenno and is televised at 9 p.m. Wednesdays on Cambridge Community Television, Channel 55.